Quick question here by Empty Sentry in the chat. Did Armani DRG get walked over? Yes, it was. Armani, unfortunately, couldn't stick it out. Some came up, or I guess he made plans or some. I know a lot of Korean players. I think this is the first time we're seeing Armani play since they switched to Sundays.
Yeah.
If my memory serves me correctly, and yeah, I do know that a lot of players have not really been able to adapt to the change too well. But some of the players who have are now here on Blackburn. LE. We're in the bottom right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. We have the blue Terran player. He is coming up from the world of sleepers. There we go. Oh, if this matchup was on World, dude, that'd be fitting. He is coming out from the world of sleepers, representing Good Game Gaming. G. He is Dream.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackburn ALE, we have his counterpart. We have the South Korean Protoss player representing Team NV. It is NightMare.
Who will prevail after all this? The result of this semifinals, the result of this best of 5, it's going to determine whether you sleep well or not tonight.
It will. I know I'm gonna sleep like a baby after all of this. I know that much. I'm gonna pass out and I'm done.
Will you though? I feel like if NightMare wins here, you'll just have dreams of Special versus Kelliser.
It's gonna be dreams of Special versus Kelliser and dreams of nothing but late game ZVP, which is what OSC Super Series was.
What that was.
The Battle of the Americas qualifiers was just nothing but like 20 to 30 minute ZVPs. It was Aye. Also another one which I don't think you were awake for. We also casted Scarlet versus Future. Yeah.
I came in right at the end of the 2000s Atmosphere game, I believe it was.
Yeah, that was
It was all Infestors versus Ghosts. At one point, Future took an amazing fight.
He did.
Scarlet was maxed out. But Scarlet was maxed out for like 20 minutes, so she had a 20k bank or something like that.
Yeah, he had like an opportunity there, especially because he killed all the tech as well. Like, if he had gotten on top of those Broodlords, mate, he would have won that game straight up, but... Oh god, that was a great climax to a very long game, a very long drawn out game.
It was.
Oh.
Really did feel like at that point Scarlet was like, "You forced me to use 10% of my bank."
Mm-hmm. Then she
was crazy.
And then she used the rest of the 30% because she wasn't injecting and she didn't have the larva to spend the rest of her money.
Well.
Oh god, but
regardless.
Yeah, regardless, she did end up winning that game, and here we are in a ZVP. NightMare was being a little bit annoying with that Zealot. Ooh, even coming in here with the Adept, but it looks like the bunker should finish. Oh.
Right on time here. And this Adept should not be giving Dream too much troubles.
Oh boy, no, not at all. Meanwhile, behind this, it looks like NightMare is going for the Stargate, as opposed to any kind of Twilight Council or Blink play.
Yeah, a little bit more defensive, I would say. Well, we'll see what he actually gets out of it. Starting immediately with the Phoenix. So NightMare posturing a little bit more defensive overall in this game. Of course, he can, when he gets enough Phoenixes, he can go across the map and get some SCV harass. But yeah, it seems like he's mostly just anticipating Dream to come at him in a bit of an early timing. And he wants to get some crowd control out.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we have seen, like, you go for Phoenixes, you gain map control, right? You make it difficult for your opponent to drop you, and then maybe you can pick off, like, a Raven if they decide to go for something like that. Speaking of his Raven. Oh, boy.
It is on the way.
Meanwhile, we have some nicely hidden Widowmines.
Oh, yeah, just in case any Oracles come in, but we know that ain't gonna be an Oracle. Still no, the Phoenix could get bruised! And now Dream is aware that that was not a hallucinated Phoenix. It was legit. Don't think Dream will be getting tanks anytime soon in this game. Maybe 1 or 2 for safety.
Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if he commits a little bit more to those Widowmines regardless. Already one of these Phoenixes already died. And we do see, I love how Dream actually repositioned the Widow Mines as well. Just to keep his opponent on his toes.
Oh yeah. Doesn't have the armor yet, doesn't want that to be lifted up and taken out. Mines, super valuable in a TVP. Both in the main army and as a form of harass, if you do decide to go that route.
Oh, definitely. And we do see now with the fifth Phoenix finishing up here for NightMare. He is transitioning out of this, going into a Twilight Council. So far, he has kept all of his Phoenixes alive, which is great. He has to be careful, though, as if he goes a little bit too far forward, there is another Widow Mine.
There really is, and you do not want to get your Phoenixes into the red before. Ooh! Sees it right at the last second.
Oh, boy.
It is super important just to keep these Phoenixes alive. He's doing such a good job of keeping Dream back here. Unable to really go across the map with any form of... I mean, he couldn't go across the map with his Raven for auto turrets, with a medevac of mines. Dream has to focus 100% on this eventual push.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm surprised. NightMare has not stopped Phoenix production. Usually you stop at around 5, but he has 6 and now he's working on 7. Like, oh my.
Yeah. I'm looking at it. Just staring at the production tab now. He's not making Phoenixes yet, Light, so yeah, okay, he is working on that transition, but interesting choice by NightMare. Prioritizing the air control a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if, like, you know, going above 5 really has too much value. Maybe he was a little bit scared because one of them was so low and he wanted to maintain it. I guess, I have to imagine.
Well, I guess when you do go for 7, you can get away with being a little bit more forward with these Phoenixes. You know, you can dive them in to pick off a key unit, like say the Raven, and then dive out, not losing too many.
That he does. The Widow Mines were taken out. Oh my god!
Unable to burrow in time before getting lifted. However, Dream does not turn around. He is not at all deterred. He knows that NightMare's main army is in those Phoenixes, or most of his supply are in those Phoenixes. If they're in his main base, he's got nothing here by the 3rd.
Oh,
and he's going straight forward. Charge did finish up, but it's not enough Zealots.
Oh god, not at all. And this is the danger of spending so much of your supply in these Phoenixes because you barely have anything on the ground. He does manage to warp in a wave of Zealots, and is it enough to push him away?
Just barely, it seems. If these Zealots get taken out, there is nothing protecting the Phoenixes in the air. But NightMare has just enough to chase this away.
Yeah, exactly.
Even
the Phoenixes,
the Raven.
Exactly, the Raven came in, but because Dream was losing ground, all the medevacs and the Raven got picked off. Beautifully done there by NightMare. More importantly, he was able to keep his 3rd base safe and sound. Didn't lose any of his workers. Wow, just what a hold.
Yeah, I didn't even need a shield battery over there.
Oh my, and now Dream, like, he's forced to take his own 3rd CC, and he's well behind in terms of the economy. God, and here comes NightMare.
Yeah, at this point, he's coming forward, and that is Dream's NightMare. He's really far in attack. Dream still has a really good army with enough kiting and stim. He will be able to, there we go, deter that. But NightMare is really far ahead in tech. He has plenty of minerals to keep warping in and sustaining this fight. Eventually, Dream will bleed out too much, and that's all NightMare needs.
Oh god, but the
Widow Mine shots, though.
Yeah, they do go off on the majority of the Zealots, but again, it looks like NightMare has run out of steam, and it looks like, oh no, never mind. He actually he dives back in with his Archons.
Oh. What a ballsy maneuver.
Hey, especially with those Archons, he goes,
the anti-air.
Yeah, he goes straight into the main base, warps in with his Warp Prism. Looks like he does target it with the Widow Mine. Oh!
And it will go down. NightMare doesn't have any more sustainability when it comes to this army, but doesn't really matter in the end. There's still Zealots in the front line. This Archon's still alive, and it's really forcing these Marauders off position. Marauders really don't do much against the Archon too.
They really don't. They really don't. And you know what? That was distracting the army. Meanwhile, we had a couple of Zealots go into the 3rd base. SCVs going down. Thankfully, the 3rd will survive. But Dream, like, he couldn't afford to take a hit to the economy like this.
Yeah, that he really could not. He'll be able to equalize for a while, at least until he catches up with the workers, 6 mules. but he does not have the momentum on his side anymore. NightMare is already setting up this fourth base. He's actually taking them forward fourth, which is a little bit surprising, but NightMare, he wants to be able to go and counterattack immediately when he's able to defend against Dream's push.
I was about to say, like, NightMare has just been very aggressive this game in general, so it does make sense, right? Like, he wants to be in Dream's face as often as possible. Speaking of, another Warp Prism gets into the main base, warps in a massive wave of Zealots, and they do get into the mineral line. No reaction. Oh.
And if the previous push from NightMare crippled Dream, this is kind of putting him out of his misery. But Dream is fighting back really hard. Nice defensive setup here with the Liberators and the Widow Mines.
Oh god.
And he's not losing too much of his economy. He's starting to lose ground here by the natural base, but NightMare does not have any reliable anti-air to deal with those Liberators. He only has Archons and Sentries, and their range is just way too short.
That it is, but you know what? He didn't even care. He just wanted to get into that mineral line. 8 more SCVs go down, forces a bunch of workers off the line. And again, Dream is still stuck on 3 bases. You know, NightMare, he's basically fully saturated on 4. Like, he's got everything he needs. Thankfully, though, Dream, he didn't neglect his tech, and he is working on those ghosts.
Oh, yeah, he did not neglect his tech. He was really on top of evacuating his SCVs from each base. So, sure, he lost 8 SCVs, but he still had enough in the end to create an army continuous production cycle. He is pretty far ahead in the army supply. He just needs to make sure he doesn't take too many Archon volleys here. And he does not.
He does not, but I'm worried for NightMare because something that he's missing that I just realized, where's the AoE? Like, where's the Colossus, the Storm, the Disruptor, anything? He's just been focusing, he's been ultra aggressive on gateway units, but at the same time, I feel like maybe he's been tunnel visioning a little bit too much.
I mean, Archons have Splash, right?
I guess. They don't have the best range, though, right? You were bringing that up before. Oh, God.
Yeah, they do not have a reliable range, and the damage actually isn't that much when you're behind on upgrades. NightMare only now getting his +1.
Exactly. Like, his forge was so delayed, and I mean that comes into how aggressive he was being, right? I'm sure he was maybe even looking to end the game a little bit earlier where upgrades didn't matter, but now the game does move on. Meanwhile, finally Dream is able to deal some damage to NightMare.
Yeah, equalizing somewhat here on the losses, gets 6 of those probes and evacuates out of there. NightMare once again posturing aggressively. He wants to go right into the face of Dream. But what's there to meet him?
What's it? Make Marauders, Marines, a bunch of ghosts with EMPs.
And again, it's only 3 Archons here, aside from the the massive amount of Blink Stalkers and Chargers here. And that's not a very scary army here when you're going for Bioterran.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there we go. Finally, we've been waiting for it. Robotics Bay starts up. We have 2 Robos on the way as well, so we're going to have triple Robo production. Drop does land in the natural, and it will get cleaned up, but he will scout the Robotics Bay. He will get some eyes on it, and now he's pushing on forward with his main army.
Nice EMPs on top of most of the army over there. And we'll be able to clean that out. The Archons try to add a bit of buffer. Another really good EMP. And NightMare's starting to bleed out a little too much over here. Dream coming into the concave.
Yeah, exactly. Dream, he's looking to try and end the game before any Colossus or Disruptors come out. And right now, NightMare, he's vulnerable. He's forced to use the Overcharge, but the Overcharge is about to run out.
Indeed he is. And I think that Dream has way too much DPS regardless. Even Hop picks up just to get a little bit of a better position over here. Once again, we are on Blackburn, so it shouldn't take too much for Dream to reinforce this. The Liberators finally go down by NightMare losing, what, 90% of his army?
Oh, but at the same time, there was a Zealot run by denying all this mining here at the 3rd base. Oh, the Warp Prism does get picked off, but that also keeps the reinforcements busy of Dream, so Dream couldn't just keep plowing forward into the 4th base of NightMare.
That's a lot of ghosts that Dream has in that army.
That is, but you know what, NightMare, he has started Disruptors. 3 are on the way. He needs them desperately to pop out to survive.
Pop out, survive, and get good Noahs. Let's not forget about the most important step there for NightMare. Really good EMPs come down. The best anti-charged Archon composition you can really get right here as a Terran player. Ghosts and Marines. Throw in some Marauders for concussive shells.
Yeah.
And battery overcharge ain't gonna be enough to save you.
And it just took far too long for these Disruptors to finally come into the game. The shot goes off. decent connection, but mate, he needs more than that. As Dream, he just picks everything up and just dives on right on top of the disruptors.
And he picks it off before any of those Novas can land. GG is called, and Dream takes game number 1.
Hey, what a game.
The first step here, yeah, the first big victory for Pleasant Sleep.
Exactly. If you've been suffering from insomnia, then give your energy to Dream.
Eh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I forgot that. I mixed up insomnia and narcolepsy for a sec. I was like, wait, but if you dream well, then wouldn't that mean that you don't want to wake up? And I was like, no, wait, insomnia is the other one. Or you can't sleep.
You can't sleep. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Oh boy.
Is this a real indie? Or
invite me back in. I left.
Yep. Toss you an invite.
Yeah, get Indy out of there.
Okay. I can't. Yep. Okay. We're just trying to figure this one out. Indy is not streaming right now. So I'm liking this though. Like the betters are evolving a bit. They realize that Bel Air, they caught on to Bel Air, so now they're going for somebody else. All right, got him right out of there. And now I'm going to game number 2.
We gotta do our part, you know.
Yeah, gotta catch him as it happens.
I like it just because we have a couple more casters today. We're like a team, you know. Like, yes, we gotta get Gemini and Enki on board as well.
Gemini is watching the south corridor, you know. Enki, he's looking over. He's looking over.
On B. Gonna fake Bel Air. Oh god.
He's about to defuse. Yes, victory for the CT side as we continue our series on Romanticide. LE, we're here in the bottom right-hand corner map, swinging all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. He is the blue Terran player coming down from the land of South Korea. He is going to be representing Good Game Gaming. GGG! Arguably the most aggressive Terran player out there right now. He is Dream.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Romanticide LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player. He is red, representing Team NV. It is NightMare.
I guess it is a little bit ironic how aggressive Dream is, considering the name. Like, NightMare, his name is kind of fitting. He is, I think, one of the last players that especially other Protoss players want to face in the PvP, so you know it's fitting. Dream, on the other hand, he is not a Terran player you want to go up against unless you are unless you're a complete masochist and you're somebody who actually wants your opponents to be as aggressive as Dream is.
Yeah, definitely. It's a little bit odd, I guess. I guess you can kind of flip things a little bit and you can say like, yo, he's gonna make like his opponent's dream or something, right? But it is
his opponents are gonna catch him in his dreams.
There you go.
Or in their dreams. Or he's gonna make their opponent's dream that they didn't have to face him.
Yeah, it's kind of like with Cure, you know, how we say like, you know, he's like the cure to his opponent or something, you know, he's gonna like take him out? Question mark.
He's gonna cure his opponents from this bracket.
Yeah, from the tournament, from their life mate. He's just oh my god.
It's like I don't want to play versus Terra anymore. And Kira's like, don't worry.
Yeah,
you won't have to ever again.
I got
after
you.
I'm done with you.
Ay.
Oh no.
Oh, speaking of oh no, yo, Dream opening up with the 2 racks. 3 racks!
The 3 racks even. Here we go on Romanticide of all maps. Well, I guess Romanticide is a map where going for early pushes like this can be very effective because it's not often what your opponents expect.
Yeah, definitely.
Most people think that Romanticide is going to be a bit more economic.
Definitely. I do also want to say that I'm sure Dream doesn't want to be in a late game scenario against a Protoss player, and he's like, you know what, let's just end it early, right? Especially on Romanticide.
Oh yeah, no one gets playstyle. He wants to end it in time and in the mid game. Very aggressive with his Marines over here. Will take out that Adept before it's even. He didn't even have to play to lift up the depot game. He just took out the Adept. Forced the Shade to cancel.
Exactly. To be fair, NightMare, like, this is a bit of a tell, right? Like, oh my god, that many Marines this early in the game, this is not normal. So we do have 1 shield battery being thrown down, but only 1. I feel like this may be, I don't know, an undercommitment. To be fair, there are still only Marines here. The rest of the forces of Dream are still being banked up at home.
Yeah, that they are. Phoenixes are being made once again, and I feel like this is the absolute last unit you want to make when you're going up against a 3 racks like this.
Yeah, like, what do you, it's kind of the same thought process as like, oh my god, I'm being ling flooded. Time to make Phoenixes to pick up lings 1 at a time? Question mark? Like,
Well, your opponent can make a lot of lings though, so you have to make as many Phoenixes, right? To counter that?
You have to make as many Phoenixes as there are lings coming at you, so you can pick them all up.
Yeah, forehead.
Yeah, forehead. What? Oh god, but
just have as many Phoenixes as there are lings.
Exactly. But these are resources being kind of quote unquote wasted on these Phoenixes. To be fair, like, they will come into play because they will be able to shut down, I don't know, any medevacs that may come out, as Dream will be relying on Stim to kind of power his way through. But I don't think Dream is going to wait that long. Like, he's going, mate.
Yeah, Sim is already about to finish up. Combat shields as well, which... It's funny, when you have combat shields, you might as well have a free Sim, essentially. Oh, you have a Stim without doing too much damage over there. Marauder's also here just to provide a little bit of extra support against the buildings, especially against that single shield battery. Overcharge ain't gonna save NightMare now.
Oh god, exactly. We do see a scan. There are a couple of units here. Meanwhile, Dream, he immediately focused down that shield battery and it's gone.
Mate. And so is the rest of the army. Phoenixes cannot lift up the Marines in time. The Adepts actually going to town right now. The probes providing a surprisingly good buffer.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
10 probes will go down in the end.
It's one of those things like, oh my god, the probes, they're such a good meat shield. Oh wait. Like, they're dying, they're all dying.
If you just forget about the death part, then yeah. It's acceptable losses when you have 3 Nexuses, I suppose.
I guess so. I mean, Dream does take the lead in the worker counts, but of course his 3rd CC is not done quite yet. He is actually only just now going to start it.
Yeah, it's one of these things where it can be difficult to determine who got out better in this scenario, because of course Dream, he got a whole bunch of probes over there. But at the same time, NightMare had a 3rd Nexus, and he's already catching up on the worker count. But then again, Dream wasn't too committed with 3 racks over here. He is still working on his expansion, so it's not terrible for him, despite being a little behind in that regard.
Definitely. Also, some really nice scouting there by NightMare. He actually spotted these Marines moving towards the north, which is why he repositioned here. Nicely done by Dream. He scans first, sees, hey, your army's here. I'm not gonna commit. I'm gonna back off. I'm not gonna just throw away my Marines like that. +1 did just finish for the Marines, but he has to be careful not to be caught out here. Oh, so these medevacs
feel like he pretty vulnerable over here. He does not want to lose them. He needs them heals, but the medevacs and the rest of the army will survive over here. And Stim with medevacs, that's a little bit more effective than pure Stim, I gotta say, if I say so myself, like.
Yeah, just a bit. Meanwhile, the medevacs, the Phoenixes do confirm where the army is. Again, there aren't that many shield batteries here, but there is one next to each Nexus. There are plenty of gateway units. I don't know if necessarily Dream can break his opponent here.
not without Widow Mines or tanks, in my opinion. But he can bait them to the low ground where he can break them. Oh no, NightMare. Oh, no. Should not have moved down that ramp.
Exactly, right outside of the safety of his shield battery. He's like, mate, you're a Protoss. Shield batteries are OP.
Overcharge now.
Exactly, overcharge is going to run out. That was some nice target fire there by Dream, focusing down every single zealot. But we do see enough time has passed. NightMare has been able to warp in another wave of units, and Dream is forced back. But just to reinforce.
Well, yeah, forced a little bit back. But now he's reinforcing with his Widow Mines, the anti-Zealot, anti-Phoenix unit, and he's just so much underground right now. What are the Phoenixes going to do?
Oh god, I mean, best case scenario, NightMare uses the Phoenixes to drag the Widow Mine shots into the Terran army.
Here's hoping.
Yeah. Oh boy, as here we go, the Phoenixes are diving in, so are the Zealots. The Widow Mine's slowly moving forward.
As is the rest of the army making its way. The rest of the reinforcements making their way across the map as well. Dream is just posturing over here, trying to bait NightMare into the worst fight of his life, far away from the shield battery range. But now the rest of the army is starting to catch up here. He can definitely afford to jump into Widow Mine range. Widow Mine range, shield battery range.
Oh god, definitely. That he can. Meanwhile, the Zealots are committing in. Oh, actually, a force pack only bait one Widow Mine shot. Oh, sorry, two.
Yeah, the connections aren't too bad either. Widow Mine will connect with the Phoenixes, getting a whole bunch of them down to hull damage area. If that's the proper term.
Man, the
hull
kiting
damage range, there we go.
Yeah, and the kiting is just so good. Like, Dream is trading so well here, and Archon comes in. Archon just barely stays alive due to that overcharge.
Wow. But it will go down even despite of the overcharge. That's how much DPS Dream has right now, and he is continuing this pain train. Phoenixes are going down, and that's the last of NightMare's army.
Oh god, that's it, mate. That is all she wrote. NightMare has nothing left. Only what, 3-4 Phoenixes and a base, and the third is forfeits. And what does he do from here? GG, that's what.
Dream coming up to match point. Looks like a lot of people are going to be sleeping easy Nightlight.
Oh boy, exactly. To be fair, this is the best of 5, right? NightMare, he can bring it back here. Oh god, but it's so difficult to pull off that reverse sweep.
It absolutely is. And Dream is absolutely a momentum-based player. Get him up to match point this soon. He's going to carry that forward. It's really going to take a lot from NightMare here, I think, to just really try to throw Dream off. Yeah, really just try to throw Dream off his balance, pretty much. I would not be opposed to a proxy void ray, if I'm being honest here.
Yeah.
Usually I am, when it happens to me specifically, but in this series, you know, that might be something. I'm not sure how effective Dream's defensive play is compared to his pushes.
I have to wonder. Like, that was like ultra aggressive there by Dream. It was really impressive because there were a couple of moments there where it looked like NightMare, he was able to hold on for a bit, get some time to breathe, right? But like, Dream was just unrelenting, unstoppable. Oh my god.
It's one of those things where he loosens his grip so he can grab with his other arm.
Oh boy. And now NightMare, he's up against the wall.
He's up against the atmosphere.
Up against the bed?
Question mark? Bonk?
God.
As we continue our series here, our best of 5 semifinals on 2000's Atmosphere LE. This is his opponent's last resort. In the bottom left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player coming down from the land of South Korea. He is the champion of sleep right now, coming out from the world of sleepers, representing Good Game Gaming. GGG! He is Dream.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the other South Korean Protoss player. He is red, also hailing from the land of World of Sleepers. The other side of the coin, representing Team NV, it is NightMare.
My eyes are glued to that production tab right now, Light. I really want to see NightMare, pull something a little bit different here. Really try to, again, just catch Dream off guard. And it looks like he will, hiding behind a shrubbery.
Oh, that he does. In between all this shrubbery, all of these bushes, he throws down a proxy pylon, even hides in the tall grass.
Yo. Dream's gonna see that and be like, spotter pylon. I get you. No. Little did he know that was a probe in the bush.
So I have to wonder, what is this going to be exactly? This could be a proxy Stargate. Regardless, he's waiting for the cyber core to finish up. Proxy Robo would be insane. Would it be a NightMare?
Could be a Dream.
Oh my.
That's that Robo.
Oh my god, alright, here comes Reaper, and it does not scout the proxy.
That's faffing for you, pretty much. Dream definitely not expecting that. He does see the Zealot now, though, so he knows that NightMare is up to something.
Yeah,
he saved his gas for something.
Yeah, the Zealot is a little bit of a tell because it's not the most usual thing. I love this. He's hiding it out.
But watch Dream throw a KD8 charge into shrubbery. But he doesn't. Dream, please.
The micro between these two players are insane. NightMare able to keep his Zealot alive. Meanwhile, the Robo does finish up, and here we go. The first Immortal is on the way. The Marine still does not see this.
Marine? I think the Marine was rallied to where the Reaper was rallied. A little bit funny to see, but yeah, Dream does get in here, and he sees there's a lot of open space in this main base. So unless NightMare hit his tech behind the mineral line, it's got to be a proxy somewhere. He is taking precaution with that safety bunker.
That he is. What is the bunker going to do against an Immortal? Immortals are bunker busters. They love going up against buildings. The first one is done. Second one is on the way. We got a Hellion going towards the towers, but again, still misses the proxy.
Yeah, but he is setting himself up pretty defensively over here. I like how patient NightMare is being right now. He's not going in with just 2 of his Immortals. He knows that this early on, Dream can always repair those bunkers, so he's waiting until he has just enough he needs to bust on through. Yeah,
that he does. Meanwhile, this Hellion is actually dealing a lot of damage because there's nothing here at home to defend. Finally, he's forced to use in one of his Warpins. A Stalker will push away this Hellion, but there is a lot of economic damage. At the same time, the Immortals reveal themselves.
That they do. The bunker goes down. Little bit too late for the SCV pull over there. This supply depot will go down.
Oh my god.
Start to come in, but what do we always say? Like the meat shield of the workers.
Exactly, they are coming out and they are getting surrounds on the Immortals, but again, the Immortals, they just have to kite back and they are able to deal with them. A tank is on the way, but again, if the Immortals get on the tank gets dead, mate.
It absolutely is all about the buffer right now on these Marines. The tank is far forward.
The tank, no!
Immediately gets busted down. GG 3 times. Because that's how good of a game it was. NightMare gonna be fighting back.
He does fight back with the proxy Immortals. What was funny to me was that he could have been a lot more committed in that attack if he wanted to, but behind this he was expanding, he was getting a natural base. He was probing up.
Well, he knew, right? 2 Immortals, 1 Stalker, a Zealot, and a Dream. Let's go.
Let's go. Meanwhile, quick scan of the observers. Make sure we're missing someone. We're missing Aquaria.
We are. We're missing Gemini, so we're getting everyone in here.
Yeah.
Is Aquario co-casting with Enki, or is he casting on his own channel?
I assume he's co-casting with Enki. As they are both.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, they're both Spanish streamers. Enki and Aquaria joining the forces.
That's usually how it goes, yeah. Once again, really good to see Yankee back here after all this time. I know earlier on Mage was also
Yeah,
casting in Mandarin,
mate, the
but
double M's,
not
mate.
quite in this lobby anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, Mage and
Maddox isn't
Maddox.
here though, yeah.
Feels bad, man, but they used to be here. They used to be our boys back last year, beginning of last year.
Yeah, I used to call them Millimeter.
Did you actually call them that, though?
um,
Good. All right, here we go.
We'll continue things off on Lightshade LE. We're over here in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner of the map. He is getting a little bit shaken. He's getting a little bit disturbed. He woke up in a cold sweat from that world of sleepers. He is the blue Terran player coming out from the land of South Korea. Gonna be representing Good Game Gaming. GGG. We have Dream.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player. The other side of the coin, terrorizing his opponent, finally putting a point on the board. Representing Team NV, it is NightMare.
And I got a piece of trivia for you here, Light. So we're aware of the Good Game Gaming manager, Gengar, or as I like to call it, Quadruple G.
Right? You called him that once.
And Gengar, of course, And Gengar, of course, is a Pokemon. And a fun fact about Gengar is that he is apparently the Dream Eater, if I'm not mistaken.
He is, yes.
He eats Dream. every night.
Oh my. Aye, it's possible. I'm not putting out any allegations out there of what the team manager of GG does to his players. But it's true. It's been a while since we've seen him in the chat, but I'm sure he's there lurking.
It has.
In the shadows.
One of the best names. Well, name in conjunction with his team, I think.
Oh yeah.
It's like, I don't know, I don't think it'll beat Cranky Ducklings Starduck, but it's definitely up there.
It's up there along the lines of like GG E-Mini on Genesis Gaming. There we go.
Yeah. Genesis E-Mini.
There you go.
I think that was a joke for a while, wasn't it? We were like, oh yeah, the GG in GG E-Mini is for Genesis Gaming, yeah. So he's actually E-Mini.
Sure.
Just barely in vision there.
The SCV! He's upping up his boy!
It's giving the vision! Oh! That is smart.
Wow.
Wow. Will go down, dude.
Bros for life, SCV, these two, mate.
Absolute MVP.
He's like, I got you.
He's gonna get a medal at the end of the game. Vision provider.
Yeah. Beautifully done there. Oh my god, the SCV does take one. No, it goes down! No.
Oh! You will be missed. Yeah, that does make it into the main base here. Doesn't get too much damage done, but will have eyes on everything Dream has, so he knows it's not going to be a 3 racks this time. He knows it's not going to be some weird 2-1-1s. No. Just a straight up 1-1-1 with a natural base. Probably the most standard you can get is Terran.
Nothing too crazy going on, but again, it's very important that NightMare was able to confirm this and make sure that there was no early raxes or anything insane coming his way. And likewise, Dream, he was also oh my god, he got in. Wow.
He gets in and he sees the Widow Mine. He knows Dream is posturing for that drop.
Meanwhile, this time NightMare is not opening up with the Stargate. We do see the tech of choice this game is going to be that Twilight Council.
Yeah, gonna be, again, if 1-1-1 is the most standard you can get as Terran, then Twilight Council is possibly the most standard you can get as Protoss. Not in this meta, I think, because obviously Stargates, but yeah, definitely in general. When we going for that Twilight Robo. Should be seeing Blink come up. For NightMare, it would be crazy if he goes charge first.
I imagine. Whoa! Wow, NightMare! I love it. Going for Adepts. Oh my god, this is so much more risky. The Warp Prism is already going across the map. How many gateways do we have? I mean, Warp Gate is just about to finish up, but it does look like he needs to throw down a couple more gates. But this can catch Dream off guard.
It really can. I will say that. Oh. Yeah, that Warp Prism already taking a whole ton of damage over here. NightMare has to be so careful. I will say though that I like that Dream. He actually has a tank now. Okay, never mind. But I don't think Dream is gonna be too dedicated. He does have that tech lab there. Oh. Because normally when you're going for glaze like this, right, you want to shade on top of the tanks, take him out, and then let everything else of your army as a Protoss player deal with everything else that the Terran player has. Since tanks are really going to be the backbone of pushes and defense, but if Dream recognizes this early enough, he will be able to transition the mines quickly enough, or maybe just not make tanks anything but tanks.
Yeah. Again, like that's kind of the ideal.
Fine.
Yeah, it's the ideal scenario for NightMare. Also, Dream has shown in the previous games that he is more than willing to go into biomine, a biomine composition against Protoss. But we'll see, as, again, it's going to take a little bit for Glaives to finish up. We do have 5 more gateways being thrown down. Once they do finish up, then NightMare can be aggressive, and we'll see how committed he's going to be. Especially because, honestly, I'm shocked that he got a 3rd base with this as well.
Yeah, he's not going to be too committed with this, just going to be keeping Dream back as much as he can. A very dedicated pressure here coming out from NightMare, but not an all-in by any means. Yeah, regardless, he does need to deal some damage. What's scary is that both these tanks just went to the low ground. Like, the Adepts, this is where they need to commit to the shade, and then they're going to be able to take everything out. Yeah, and that's definitely ideal. To be fair, it is only Adepts at the moment. There's not too many units supporting them, aside from 2 sentries and a single Immortal, but Dream is mostly on pure Marines, and that's exactly what
NightMare sees the army. Dream, he has no idea. He leaves his tanks exposed.
He does, but thankfully he's still in position to come back in. He has a pretty decent spread of tanks regardless. A lot of friendly fire going down, and the Adepts absolutely shred through the Marines. It looks like NightMare's gonna brute force his way to an ace match. Oh yeah, exactly. The tanks will focus down immediately, and the shades got so much damage done. The meat shields were pulled, the boys were pulled, but 24 SCVs fell, and the army is still standing here for NightMare, continuing to warp in offensively, and now Dream is stuck on 1 base. That he is. It's gonna be very tough for NightMare to push up on this ramp, but as you were saying earlier, like, that is totally fine. NightMare does not need to kill Dream over here. He is living it up on his 3-base economy right now. He can go into anything at this point. He can throw down a Stargate and a Fleet Beacon. He's getting into Blink, enough time to transition. He's getting to Blink because you might as well. Yeah, why not? Then throw down your Robo, throw down your Robotics Bay. Just, oh god, Dream is stuck here. What I will say, though, is that NightMare needs to scout the northern side of the map because Dream is sneakily on 2-base economy. Yeah, a little bit of a ninja over here, so Dream is not as far behind as NightMare really thinks. Meanwhile, I just realized that depot went down, so NightMare, he could shade into the main. He could, but yeah, there's nothing really to take advantage of. There are so many supply depots at Sir Base Light. Dream can get so hard supply capped. That he can. It looks like a lot of these depots are going to go down. Meanwhile, Dream, he does load up, and Medevac is going across the map. Meanwhile, he's going to commit to the shade. Oh god. Oh, that would have been disastrous in those Widow mines. Yeah. But then again, you know, friendly fire, you never know. And here comes the drop. Oh, but never mind. Yo, NightMare's all over the place, mate. He has an army here or enough to defend his bases. Here comes the drop. There goes the drop. Oh god. And now NightMare's really starting to suspect that something is up. You know, you can't feel like you have enough supply to go for a drop like that unless you have more than 1 base economy. Oh god, yeah, definitely. Meanwhile, another Widowmine does hit. What's important is NightMare still has not scouted that base. He was going north, but he was stopped by the drop. should have a little bit of an inkling at this point. Regardless, though, he is going to be retreating from that Fort Siege. These Immortals are exposed!
Oh god, 2 free Immortals. One at least goes down, the other so close, and it does go down.
Oh, that was definitely a nice little victory. Dream needs to do a lot more than that, but that's a pretty good start.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. Now NightMare is pushing out across the map once again. Dream does have a bit of an army, but now he's on the low ground. He doesn't have as near of a defensive advantage that he did before. Oh god.
He needs to have the most perfect mine hits of his life. Those Adepts, are they gonna commit to the shade? They do not. Dream tried to bait them on top of the Widow Mines, but it was not meant to pass. The army and NightMare just completely bypassing Dreams.
Oh, now Dream is stuck on the low ground.
Yes! Oh, yeah. Forced through a tunnel. A choke point over here.
Oh god, NightMare just completely outpositioned Dream there. Nicely done with his army movement. And now Dream is stuck outside his own base. The Widow Mines aren't even gonna come into play. Oh god.
They might get some friendly fire. They will connect on a couple of these Adepts, but that is barely a dent in the force of NightMare. GG! And it looks like we're not going to be sleeping as easy as we thought tonight. Like, this series could still go either way.
It definitely can. As NightMare, I didn't think that he could do it, but the reverse sweep, it could be real. He wins 2 games in a row, and now we are going into that ace match.
That we are, of course. As a reminder, the winner of this is going to go up against DRG Dongregu. Waiting in the finals, waiting for a long time in those finals.
Oh,
and I'm not sure who would rather face DRG here. I guess maybe Dream, since they have a little bit of a history, a little bit of back and forth. NightMare, I think, totally has a chance against him, though.
Definitely. I do think a Dream. I would love. I love me my ZBTs. I would love some Dream versus Dongregu. I know you would as well, but
yeah. I mean, not only is TVZ just in general super popular, super hype, but Summit, arguably one of the best Muta players out there right now, going up against possibly the most aggressive Terran player. I mean, it goes back to the Dream matchup, right? Mutiling Bane versus Marine Marauder Medevac Mine.
Oh boy. And now I just don't know which way this is gonna go, mate.
Well, neither do I. I was gonna say will probably be a longer one, but it's Dream we're talking about. Regardless, we are gonna be concluding our series here. Best of 5 semifinals on Oxide LE. We're in the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner. We have the blue Terran player. He is coming down from the land of South Korea, coming from the world of sleepers. I will save that for after you intro our other player later on. He is representing Good Game Gaming. GGG. He is Dream.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player. He is red, representing Team NV. It is NightMare.
And I wish that we had a certain NA player in this matchup as well, so that I could call it Kirby, NightMare, and Dreamland.
What? What?
That's the name of a Kirby game. You remember Kirby?
I know who Kirby is.
Yeah. Terran, if I'm remembering correctly.
So what, like Kirby Land? Is that not? What?
Kirby, NightMare, and Dreamland. That was the name of the Game Boy Advance Kirby game.
Sure.
Or one of the two. I don't remember what the other one was. Don't think it was as good.
God damn it. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Again. Da na 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 na. Da 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 na 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 na. Beautiful.
That's a song I should be humming for 2000's atmosphere.
Exactly. To be fair, the only reason why I know that song that well is because of Smash Brothers. Super Smash Brothers. Um, didn't really play many of the Kirby games.
Yeah,
yeah.
may or may not be missing out there. I feel like Kirby. I mean, it's easy to get into. Kirby is, but it's. I feel like it's a type of game series where most people, almost everyone, will enjoy it. Not a lot of people will like get really super into it.
You know, so almost gets an SCV.
Will it get the bunker? It will. It gets 2 SCVs, almost getting a 3rd.
Jesus.
All right, that's actually a pretty good trait there. Going with your initial Zell, you don't even really want to keep the Zell for too much longer, so might as well get some free SCVs for it. Meanwhile, Dream is proxying a starport. Could be lifting them Hellions.
Yeah, I imagine so, as we do have Hellions on the way, so they are going to be meeting up with the medevac and just dropping straight into the main base of NightMare. So far, NightMare, he doesn't really know anything is amiss. He hasn't been able to sneak into the main base with his adept, but I say that, he does check, and he does... Oh, can he deny it? Oh my god! Oh, one more!
There is still time! One more hit! Wow, what is that? 2 seconds? Less than a...
He cancels it as well! Yeah, Dream, mate. He is having a nightmare right now. He does come in with his Hellions. One immediately goes down. The other, can it even escape the shades? Can it even get a volley off? Does get one. Oh!
We'll get 2.
He
Will
doesn't
not get
even.
enough.
Wow.
He gets 1 probe.
He gets 1 probe, mate.
Man, oh man. Dream does get a little bit of scout off there, but definitely not the damage he wanted to get done, especially with such an investment proxying the starport across the map like that.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane. Like, oh god, NightMare got there just at the last moment. Meanwhile, oh god, once again, Deja Vu takes another Widowmine shot to the face with his first Phoenix. And once again, going for this more heavy Phoenix style.
Yeah, I have to wonder how effective it's going to be this time. I'm just thinking back to how maybe the layout of the map will affect that or not. I think overall, yeah, it's not something that NightMare should be focusing too much of his resources on.
Right, I hope not.
If he goes
right?
for a Phoenix style like this, then yeah, transition earlier on will be super important.
Well, so far every game he's gone Phoenix since he's lost, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh god. So I do hope he doesn't overcommit, right? Last time he went up to 7 Phoenixes, Jesus Christ, and we saw how well that worked out for him. Is still making a 5th one. He does have 4 out right now. We'll see if he keeps going. We'll see if he does transition a little bit faster into something else. And we'll see if these can even pay for themselves.
Well, already I'm liking this. Much quicker getting to Robo Bay.
Yeah.
I'm feeling Colossus out right now, but I wouldn't be opposed to Disruptors.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to them either. I think it would be really smart to go Colossus right now, just because, 1, it's safe to establish your 3rd base. 2, you know, you have your Phoenixes to protect your Colossus against things like Vikings, even, if your opponent does switch into them.
And of course, most and last but certainly not least, 3, Colossus. They're tall.
They are tall.
Is he sufficient? No. But yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Colossus definitely a lot more reliable in getting the damage output off. Not as reliable as keeping them alive, but that's why you have the Phoenixes, as you said.
Exactly. So he's going straight into those Colossus. There it is. Extended thermal lens on the way. 3rd base up and running. Meanwhile, Dream, let's quickly have a look at what he has been up to. He does not have a 3rd on the way quite yet. There we go. Finally, it does start, but it does feel a little bit late compared to his opponent.
Oh, it certainly is. Dream is kind of doing this Terran thing of really working on his +1 timing push before concerning himself with that 3rd base. Meanwhile, NightMare is aware of that. He just is acting as greedy as he possibly can in the early game.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I mean, maybe Dream is going to be pushing out now because, again, his 3rd was late, so he's got to do something with his army, waiting for +1 to finish up. But by the time he does move out, there are going to be 2 Colossus. To be fair, there's not that much on the ground to protect those Colossus. NightMare has been relatively greedy, focusing on probe production and teching up.
It's Deja Vu all over again, like. It really doesn't take much to surround that Colossus with Marines.
Mhm.
Even a couple of sentries would be really nice to see over here,
Sentries, some
but
Student
he just doesn't have
City, some
any.
more shield batteries, right?
Yeah,
We'll
sell it a 2.
Yeah, and here we go. Dream, he does unsiege. He is going to be pushing out across the map. We'll see if he does commit to an attack or if he's just pushing out just to establish a third.
Yeah, he does have a pretty good army on his hands right now.
Mhm.
It's gonna be all about the micro right now. No Ravens, so yeah, not gonna be able to disable any of those Colossus, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's still relatively fine if he can focus fire the Colossus with tanks and what have you.
Yeah, it definitely can be. What's scary is that NightMare was able to scout the move out with his observer. He was trying to catch the army in the middle of the map a little bit with his phoenixes, and as we can see, it looks like Dream, he does not want to go for any kind of push. He has started his second upgrade, working on +1 armor, and yeah, he's just chilling on 3 bases.
Dream is playing surprisingly passive this game.
I'm surprised as well. Yeah, I was thinking maybe there was a really nice timing that he could have hit. Instead, he didn't go for it. Didn't feel confident enough, and yeah, he wants to go into a longer game, I guess.
Huh, alright.
Bold move, Dream.
Well, it definitely is. Well, we were mentioning it a little bit earlier on. Dream wants to be aggressive. That's how he wants to play out his series more often than not. But that's not all he has when it comes to his tool belt. When it comes to his tool belt, he can totally pull off more economic focus games like this. He will have to start harassing a lot more though.
Exactly. That's what
NightMare.
That's what I'm worried about. Like, he hasn't really been aggressive at all towards the Protoss player, towards NightMare. NightMare, he's already working towards his 4th base even. He's full saturated on 3. And Dream has just been hanging back. We do have a couple more upgrades on the way, but the armory is about to finish up, so Dream can go into +2. Like,
No. I said no.
Huh. Huh.
No. He's getting concussive shells. No.
We'll see if he decides to go for it.
Yeah, he might not need it. You know, 2 is a bit of it's too even of a number, in my opinion.
There you go, yeah.
1 is a lot more interesting.
You want to be odd, you know? Don't want to be even.
Yeah. Alright, I'm liking that full wall off, and a really nice defensive position here for Dream. The Colossus is actually a little too far back, not attacking the Marines whatsoever, getting caught in the crossfires of tanks over here. One of them goes down. Not too much anti-air. It's mostly just the Archons. But the Vikings are so badly bruised, they cannot get the damage they need on top of these Colossus.
Meanwhile, the Colossus are a little bit exposed, but the Marines, they cannot push on forward. There were no Marauders with that army, and despite Dream having this insane defensive position, NightMare was able to break through, and now he's in the natural.
Yo, are we gonna get that reverse sweep? We'll see. NightMare definitely starting to bleed out here. But he can continue to warp in more and more zealots. He is on 4 bases. His economy has been untouched this entire game. He is not going to be hurting for minerals anytime soon.
I am so surprised by this, to be honest. Like, Dream, he didn't go for an attack, and I'm like, okay, maybe he's just waiting for his opponent to push into him. And when that happens, like, NightMare pushes through anyway. It looks like the Colossus will finally be dealt with. Oh my god, just barely the Colossus does go down. But now he's in the 3rd. Now this 3rd base is so exposed. There's only 1 tank. It's in the natural, and Dream, he's going to lose all of his SCVs here.
35 of them. Jesus Cristo.
Jesus Christ. And honestly, like, NightMare can just push up. Again, there's only 1 tank and 1 Liberator. Immediately, the tank gets focused down, the Lib gets focused down, and now NightMare goes into the natural once again.
These Archons have so much alpha in them. Like, Widowmines are going to connect with the Stalkers, which is decent, but definitely not what you wanted them to connect with. More and more Stalkers coming in. GG is called, and NightMare pulls off the reverse sweep. We are going to be tense before we go to bed tonight. Well played from NightMare. Doing something very different in game number 3 and 4 here, and now finally in game number 5 shows that he is not just somebody. He's not just somebody who has to catch his opponents off guard. He can 100% take it to much more of a macro game, win with timing attacks like this. again, still very surprising that Dream was as played as passive as he did on
Yeah.
Ox side, but yeah, it definitely worked out a lot better for NightMare.
I mean, we got to see what happens when you leave a Protoss player alone, right? NightMare, there was definitely an opportunity there where maybe Dream could have hit a timing where NightMare was a little bit more vulnerable, but because you know he left NightMare alone, NightMare was able to just smack her up, get his Colossus out, get all of his upgrades, hit a really good position where a lot of the tanks were kind of, you know, too far off. They weren't really taking a part of the fights, and wow, NightMare played that out so well.
He really did. I guess that comes down to name, right? Dream was Dream played the way NightMare was dreaming that Terran players would play.
Yeah, Dream, you know, his head was in the clouds a little bit too much, right? He should have been in the now, not asleep, not dreaming. Meanwhile, NightMare, he was all over it.
He wakes him up.
He woke him up, mate. Ay, ay, ay. And now we have a ZVP finals.
There we go. Back on in it. Time is a bit of a flat circle in it. Like, you started your morning with a whole bunch of ZVPs, and now you're gonna end the day with a ZVP finals.
That we are. That is the way it is meant to be. Oh boy, a bit of a team kill as well. I'm sure Team Envy are very happy with this. DRG versus NightMare. Boy, and I'm honestly really impressed with what NightMare was able to pull off today. Taking down Dream was no easy feat. I mean, he almost got 3-0'd. Let's be like, NightMare was.
He really did.
It was not looking good for him.
It really was not, but then he reached into some of the darker recesses of his subconscious. His nightmares, if you will.